Hey guys, it's Josh from Cardboard Connoisseurs bringing you another cEDH event. It could even be a boat again, brought to you by Game Night and Scroll Rack, the cEDH decklist recommendation bot. First up, we have Yannette with Urza Saga, Draneth Magistrate, Vampiric Tutor, Fable Passage, Peer into the Abyss, and Disallow. And then we're going to pass it to TNT with Training Grounds, Deathrite Shaman, Chrome Mox, Gemstone Caverns, Polluted Delta, Godless Shrine, and Tundra. And then we have Thrasios Akiri with Ancient Tomb, Hollowed Fountain, Path to Exile, Basalt Monolith, Eternal Witness, Plateau, Rhystic Study. And then finally Winota with Deafening Silence, Rugged Prairie, Lotus Petal, Command Tower, Swords to Plowshare, Ornithopter, and Deflecting Swat. And let's dive right into the action. This is round 3, by the way. After this, we'll cut to top 4. And always, I'm here with my main man, Carl, in the booth, bringing you quality commentary.
Yeah, we got a Flusterstorm as the draw for turn from Annette. Urza Saga on turn 1, not going to be holding up counter magic. Will that punish? I don't think so. Not looking at the opening hands, we're probably just going to have a couple of dorks get thrown out here from each player.
Yeah, she's probably hoping that we just stay real slow with her going first. She already has a pretty decent advantage.
Turn 1 Thrasios. Not really that threatening with what's currently on the board, although we do know there's a Training Grounds in hand, so we're going to start being able to activate that as early as turn 2. Plus we're going to deploy some mana dorks. We don't really know where that's going right now.
Winona's just going to play out the Thopter, Petal, slam
And
that Deafening Silence.
Not very good when you're going last. Not that it would have changed much this turn cycle. Not too many explosive starts from any of these players. Winota actually probably having the most explosive start, although nothing too crazy for Winota. No kind of Jewel Lotus into turn 1 Winota or anything like that.
Definitely has the most permanence.
Yes, for sure. Alright, we got a Fabled Passage and a fetch from Yannette. Probably not having too much action this turn. Mostly just a setup turn. Not very explosive from anyone here.
Yeah, everyone's playing it real slow and real close to the chest.
Yep.
Some pretty decent reactive hands, some pretty decent explosive hands.
Let's see what we got. Command Tower dropped from Thrasios. And then we know he's got the Training Grounds. Probably not too afraid of counter spells, but the board is really empty right now. Good idea, probably just to slam Tymna and start smacking. Drawing some cards. Getting that card advantage, getting some free interaction here, probably a good idea. With the Deafening Silence, kind of hard to fight free interaction here from a lot of the players. Got an Ancient Tomb into Rhystic Study. With the spells being limited every turn, Rhystic Study not that insane here, but with people's boards also not being that developed, probably still get quite a bit of value out of that as people try to build up those boards.
Yeah, and TNT can just keep drawing cards, and they don't have to cast a spell if they really don't want to.
Right.
They can kind of just cruise along, gain the advantage, and then snowball into the win.
Yeah. We got an Urza Saga, fishing, presumably a Soul Ring or something to that effect. Floating the mana.
Checking if we drew for turn.
Yeah, just gotta get that sequencing right. Urza Saga triggers during main phase, not upkeep, to go get that that 1 CMC artifact or 0 CMC artifact. Yeah, you could get a Mana Crypt. I don't know why you would over a Soul Ring, but It is a legal player. You get like a Mox Diamond, something like that, if you really need your mana to not be colorless.
This deck is wild.
Oh yeah, it's very
I definitely
interesting.
saw a Nezahal in there.
Yeah, to see it. Nezahal
angry
is like
noodle.
the Japanese CEDH special. Although Tassiger, I guess, also runs it. You can Neo form into it. Get a lot of card advantage if you're against reactive decks.
Very scary.
Yeah, see Doomsday, very interesting. This in that
Stifle.
deck.
I think I saw a foil Stifle.
Oh, nice. Jeweled Lotus. Okay,
Interesting.
that is a legal play. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that, but that does cast Yannette 1 turn faster than a Soul Ring would, and also makes colored mana. So can't really complain about that. Okay. Alright, so let's see what Yannette does with that mana. It looks like she does have a Godless Shrine in hand, so it's going to be shocked, presumably. Yes, shocked into play. 2 mana for just a Drannith Magistrate.
Not bad, not
Yeah,
bad.
really good at shutting down Winota here. Obviously, Timna Thrasios not caring a whole lot about that, although, that Drannith Magistrate is going to be able to block with that 3, but, although right now, Thrasios can just go towards the other Thrasios deck, Timna can just go towards the Winota deck, theoretically. We do know that there's a Swords, I think, in Winota's hand, so this could be shut down temporarily here.
Yeah, this is good for one player, but bad for the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely backbreaking for Winota.
Yes.
She needs to break out of that command zone to make something happen.
For sure. And, it's definitely a double-edged sword when there's a Drannith Magistrate out. Against a Winota player, if you're one of the opponents, right? Like the Thrasios Akari player probably wants to cast his commanders, but there's definitely the argument for just not interacting with Drannith Magistrate because you just don't want to have to deal with Winota at all. And then obviously the Timna Thrasios player is not going to interact with Drannith Magistrate unless he needs to go for some kind of, outside the hand sort of win, like a Yogg-Will or something like that.
Definitely. It seems like this Abraid's going towards the Magistrate,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good decision.
Yep. Oh, no. Looks like it is towards Timna.
Okay.
Yeah, that does make the Magistrate more powerful.
Yeah.
It makes your opponents, but also as the Winota player, it makes your opponents more likely to want to remove the Drannith Magistrate. Just a 1/3 Thrasios activating for 4 every turn is not as nearly as threatening as the Timna Thrasios player drawing 2 cards a turn for basically free.
That's true. It's probably the better play. Make your opponents deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get double interaction here, right? You get to kill your opponent's card advantage engine. You get to convince your opponents maybe to interact with this Drannith Magistrate, getting an interaction spell out of their hand that could go to kill Winota, and also getting that Drannith Magistrate off the table. So you're basically trying to force kind of a 1-for-3 trade with this Abraid here.
Yeah, make sure everybody else is buried under the Magistrate.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we got TNT searching up with an Imp Seal.
Yep.
Could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely anything.
Yes. We're not sure what his hand is like right now. But there's a lot of good stuff that he could get here. We could look at Seaborn Muse, something like that, if he has an extra land. So he's played his Caverns. Has he played his Fetch land yet? I don't remember.
This Polluted Delta.
Yeah, he has Polluted Delta.
He's
He does
not
have a Deathrite
playing-
Shaman, I guess, so if there's a land in the graveyard, and there's an Urza Saga in the graveyard, so he can definitely play a Seaborn Muse if he gets that.
Yeah, still holding on to the Chrome Mox.
Mm-hmm.
And Godless Shrine.
Yeah. Well, no, the Godless Shrine's in. No, it's not in play, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, so he definitely has the land to do that. Okay. Yeah, so next turn we could see, Training Grounds into Seaborn Muse, because Deafening Silence only stops non-creature spells. Or I guess only Rule of Law is non-creature spells. Probably expecting that would draw out some interaction. maybe slow rolling that a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's very well suited with all the lands he's got. He's got a lot of material to work with.
For sure. Got a Carpet of Flowers. Not amazing when it's your only spell for the turn. But you might be trying to power out a big creature here.
Island count 1.
Yes, looks like there's the single Tundra. Linvala, Keeper of Silence, off the Ancient Tomb mana. That is really, really good because it does shut down Deathrite Shaman. You know, the Thrasios Tymna player obviously wasn't aware of that when it hit. So if he did get Seaborn Muse, he is just going to have a relatively useless Seaborn Muse there. Yeah, just a lot of politics going around the table right now about what stacks pieces needs to go. You know, Winota really doesn't care about Linvala at all, except for the fact that it's a fat blocker. Yannette probably doesn't care. They don't run mana dorks. They don't need to activate Yannette to actually do anything. The only thing that would affect that would be like Varagoth the Bloodsire can't tutor off his boast ability.
Right. I'm not sure how close we are to that yet.
Yeah. Oh, we're cracking the Lotus. We are slamming Yannette. And no responses?
No, they just let it happen.
Yeah, you know, I would be hesitant to understand what Yannette did if I wasn't a little bit more familiar with the list. You know, you probably think Peer into the Abyss when you first see it. We know she has a Vamp Tutor in hand, right? She can respond to the Yannette trigger and put an odd mana cost card to the top of her deck. Could be Adnaz. We know she has Peer in her hand, so that can't be that.
Another tutor. Okay.
2-hand tutor. We're probably going to see some sort of interaction coming out here. Although it would obviously not be on this turn, since there's a Rule of Law effect in play, unless the interaction with Linvala is something like I don't know, people don't run Ravenous Chupacabra or anything like that, obviously. So yeah, we're probably gonna
just some instant speed removal on somebody else's
turn.
turn.
Yeah, we're probably gonna see something to that effect. Swords of Plowshares to get rid of the Linvala. But with that Rule of Law effect out there, fighting over the swords could be really good action here for everyone playing. Okay.
Yeah, and the longer this game goes, Winota becomes in a better position, but same for the TNT player.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and Winota also can't cast their commander right now, so that part is bad for them, obviously.
Yeah. They still have the swords in hand.
Yeah. Really, everyone here locked out completely by the stacks pieces, except for Yannette, which doesn't care even a little bit about any of these pieces.
Honey Badger don't care.
Yeah. Except that she can't Vamp Tutor into a spell because of the Deafening Silence, right? So she'll have to... I mean, she can still generate the card advantage of... just trying to either randomly spin into a spell or using Yannette's ability to start drawing cards, because I believe it doesn't cast the top card of your library, it draws it instead.
Yeah. Island count, still 1.
Still 1. Pluto Delta not being cracked.
I'm not sure what's going on with the Akiri list, but I assume it's some kind of evolution, Neoform type deck.
Yeah. It's interesting that there's Linvala in it. That makes me think it's some kind of pod adjacent deck.
Or just a brew in general.
Yeah.
You get some wild stuff at these tournaments, I'll tell you what.
For sure. Yeah, definitely more stacks focused than you normally think. Imperial Recruiter off of Ancient Tomb and red mana from Carpet of Flowers. Searching for creature with power 1 or 2 or less, sorry. So that could get a pretty decent dockside, right? I guess that would give him 3. So not amazing, but passable. Definitely 3 treasures he didn't have before. Or it could give him some kind of sax piece to get him protection from for Limvala, something like a selfless spirit. Yeah, or he'd just get another Dryneth Magistrate.
Another layer of Magistrate.
We will say I hate Winota, and also that does stop Inet from casting spells from the top of the library. Still draw cards with it, but definitely not super duper happy if you're the Inet player and your plan just gets shut off right there by the Dryneth Magistrate.
And we know that TNT has tutored twice, has training grounds, still has Thrasios out, and is in probably the best position of any player right now.
Right. Although can't activate Thrasios because of Limvala.
Correct. But after 2 tutors, I'm sure there's
something's
some
going on.
type of
Something is
interaction
going on over there.
slithering over there.
Yep. Your net player also pretty choked on lands.
Yeah.
Although if your net starts drawing cards, surely a land will be hit sooner or later here. Yeah, she's drawn some big spells. Vamp Tutor. Vamp Tutoring for a land, I wonder. Paying for Ristic Study because why not? You can't play any other spells this turn. Let's see what goes on top. Thinking about Runescarred, which does get around the Deafening Silence, but does not get around the Dryneth Magistrate. Let's see if she remembers that. Looks like she got Varragoth.
Yeah,
it was pretty quick, but I think it was Varragoth.
I'm not sure that she has any removal in her hand.
And if she does, she can't cast it because she's already cast a Vamp Tutor. So
right.
I think this is going to be forgetting about one of the several sax pieces on the board, which you do see a lot.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot going on in these games. There's a lot of stacks pieces that you think about as kind of like, oh, this is shutting down my opponent, so I don't care about that until it does matter.
Yeah, until it is affecting your boys.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. With extreme prejudice.
Yeah, he says, I am going to path if you try to attack. She says, okay, let me think about that then.
Pretty aggressive, but at the same time, you don't know what's on top of the deck, and you would probably assume that it's something wild and crazy that's really going to shake up the board.
Yeah. I don't. Also, does he have any mana? I don't think he has mana, does he?
He's got one open, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, it's a little bit off the camera. Yeah, planes. Okay. Actually, probably fairly beneficial for Yannette, just because she couldn't cast a spell anyways.
Yeah.
And you might as well get that land since you're choked on lands. No one else is really doing anything threatening. You know, TNT and Deathrite Shaman locked out by Limvala. And Dryneth Magistrate Widow locked out by Dryneth Magistrates. Thrasios and Akiri locked out by Dryneth Magistrate. Right now, the idea I think most players are having are the TNT players tutored a bunch and might just be going for a win. Other than that, aggro is kind of the name of the game right here. Just that 3/4 Limvala holding down air superiority and enough little dudes on the ground to prevent any damage from going through.
And we're already at we're already at turn 5 or so, and you know, everyone's pretty much above 30.
Yep.
Not a whole lot of swinging going on, just a little bit here and there.
Exactly.
The Akiri player, I don't think he's attacked once.
Nope. Too afraid of, you know, although he probably shouldn't be afraid anymore of a removal spell coming down and
It's
just
got a pretty beefy
Winota
flyer.
smacking.
And I mean, if it's going to get removed, it's going to get removed, so.
Right.
Might
Yeah,
as
I
well
think
chip
the
away at
Dryneth
somebody.
Magistrates are going to draw fire probably before Linvala does.
Yeah.
Except for from the TNT player, obviously. So, let's see if those tutor targets come into play here. So quite a lot of cards in his hand. There's been almost no interaction in this game besides a path on a net.
One path, one abrade.
And then the abrade, on Timna, just to choke that card advantage engine out and set that Timna into the command zone with some Drannith Magistrates on the board.
Yeah, while that abrade play looked good on paper, now that we're living in dumpster time with double Magistrate, it's a lot worse.
Yeah,
unless
I mean,
somebody has a board wipe.
Yeah, I guess as Winota, you think like I have good creatures in my deck, and other people do not have good creatures in their deck. So if I can shut off all the card advantage engines, I will display better creatures than everyone else, and eventually win the game.
Or you dig your own grave.
Or in this case, you can see that his only creature is Ornithopter, and Ornithopter is not doing just a whole lot here.
He's doing his best.
Yeah, that's true. He
can
hold
appreciate
off
that.
Thrasios, Drannith Magistrate, Deathrite Shaman, or Imperial Recruiter. So he can block 4, 5. I get technically 5. Oh, something's happening.
Oh no, high alert, high alert.
Yes, we are on high alert. There is a Deafening Silence in play, so if he goes for Demonic Consultation, he can't respond to it. But we'll see what's happening. That path play on Yannette may come back to be rather questionable because obviously Yannette not being able to cast the spell off the top of her library because of the Drannith Magistrate probably meant that it wasn't going to do much besides draw a card.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That double tutor could have just been that right there.
Yeah, very combo, likely. Yeah.
AB combo that gets around Deafening Silence win while everybody else is stuck staring at each other.
Yep. Yeah.
Very quality, very, he found the line. They're discussing on whether he needs to name the card right now.
And he doesn't. And also it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the game is over if nobody has any real interaction.
For sure. I guess they're thinking about maybe if someone has a Holy Day or something like that effect. Angel's Grace kind of effect. If they can trick him into killing himself and then cast an Angel's Grace, maybe.
That's pretty good.
But obviously it does not work like that. If you want to save yourself with Angel's Grace that way, just wait for Demonic Consultation to resolve and respond to the Thassa's Oracle trigger before it resolves in the stack. Angel's Grace can't be countered anyway, so well, I guess you could counterbalance it.
Technically.
Yeah, but
technicality.
Yeah, it can't be interacted with.
There was a lot of Angel's Grace at this tournament, surprisingly.
There was, yeah. I think people were expecting a lot of Thassa's Oracle wins. We are seeing at least one on camera here. I think it was pretty popular throughout the tournament, although Infinite Mana Loops, I think, were a little bit more popular. All right, and no interaction.
Yep, they've all conceded to the win. Pretty masterful play there. I mean, he wasn't worried about anything other than just AB combo.
Yeah.
Yannette showing that she did have a Flusterstorm, but not the mana to cast it. She had all the gold, but not the strength to carry it.
Right. Yeah, very, very all in on the Yannette plan. Not from the Thrasios Sakuri player, no counter spells there. Just trying to use that path to get around that Deafening Silence, get a little bit more of advantage. But you still kind of feel bad about tapping out and indicating maybe that it's safe to go for the win.
And you definitely, when you're preparing for tournaments and you're in tournaments and stuff like that, you have to realize that there are people with fully optimized decks, there's people with brews, and though the brewer advantage is real, sometimes it can just not do much for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that concludes round 3. We'll see you guys in top 4. Please check out Scroll Rack, the cEDH recommendation bot.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Game Night of Columbia, Tennessee, our wonderful hosts of the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.